I mean,
Not in Colombia though.
In Colombia, I feel like shit. Well, we don't have a key in Colombia.
You don't have IKEA in Colombia, so what? You just don't have furniture? You just stand?
welcome to the AYUC podcast.
Oh, hi.
Hi, welcome.
What's up, man?
There's no furniture, there's no IKEA there.
There's no IKEA in Colombia.
There's no furniture, clear.
We don't buy from IKEA because free AC block.
Oh, that's true. That is.
So regardless.
That's a good point.
No, it's still the buy.
So all of Colombia is.
You're like the originals free AC block.
Yo, whoa, guys, we
original
can't start
gangsters.
talking about this yet. We need to put the disclaimer out, but as people get triggered.
The disclaimer.
Yeah, the disclaimer.
I thought we can just jump in.
No.
Like
Okay,
we
so-
Philip DeFranco. Let's just.
No, this is our legal department telling us this.
Oh, that's right.
It's a
Our
legal
legal department, because we have one of those.
We do.
Great.
Alright, so welcome to AYUC Podcast. Disclaimer, this is not for the faint-of-hearted or the easily triggered. We're no way affiliated with AYUC in any way. We're recording every Tuesday from the AB at the second floor. Today's the 17th of September. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in.
Can I just add one more message?
What?
Don't let your memes be dreams.
Oh.
Thank you.
That was Thomas being trash.
Do you want a shout out?
Yeah, come on, we're fucking there. This.
It's your birthday today.
It's his
Tomorrow.
birthday.
Oh, tomorrow.
Well, come on over. Come on over to the
Come
mic.
on, scooch over to the mic then. Jesus Christ.
You still had the ultimate frisbee gameplay.
Oh, what am I supposed to say now? Like,
I can hear you fairly clearly.
You gotta congratulate yourself.
We have a live audience member here, and I'm tuning right now.
I wish to congratulate Juan Castro for his excellence and diversity. Happy birthday, Juan. We are really proud of you.
Man, I don't know who that guy was, but I'm sure Juan Castro would love that.
I mean, shouldn't we sing then? We should probably sing a birthday song now.
We're already doing a podcast in the study area.
Actually, I don't think we should sing.
And to sing now, I think that would be just one bit too much.
That'll be rude.
Don't you think?
I think so.
Okay. By the way, Tachana, I'm glad you turned off the ultimate frisbee on my. We were just.
It was playing in the background.
We have
so
this
I
bad
thought
habit
it
of
was
starting the
good.
podcast before we fire up the gear, so we'll just be rambling on, and then halfway through the conversation we'll only start up. So, we had this. We registered our names today, right, for AYUC podcast.
AYUC podcast.
Exactly.
What do you mean registered?
Well, we trying and get some cheeky internet accounts going.
Oh yeah. So we tried SoundCloud, but then SoundCloud was like, hold up, you can only upload 180 minutes for free, and you can't do it live. And then Mixler, because of course, next step is look what AU Web Radio does.
Exactly. Just
Talk
copy
to AU
them.
Web Radio.
See you later.
Just copy them.
Bye. Adios. Hasta luego.
So, like,
You are a polygloth. Or is that?
that's the
Integral?
word. Is that the word? I
I'm
have
not
no
sure.
idea.
You speak a lot of languages.
Oh, thank you.
But anyway,
And
SoundCloud kind of fucked us. Then we did what AUC Web Radio did.
Yeah, Mixler. But then Mixler was all like, hey, you can totally live stream here. There's a chat. Awesome, amazing. False sense of security. Because then I downloaded it. They were like, hey, subscribe to our subscription plan. I was like, no.
Yeah, they were.
You see, we don't have any donations yet. But if you would like to donate to us, we have a free ad space that encapsulates like 40% of our podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll talk about your product on and on.
We will shout out anything, okay? Nothing is off limits.
Oh,
Anything.
dude, you're gonna don't ear rape people.
Dude, I was making a point, okay? Making a point.
Okay. Anyhow, this is the pilot. The goal of this podcast, because a podcast isn't really a podcast without a goal or any virtue.
That's
right?
right.
So-
That's right.
So we started on the concept last week, and the concept is that we were procrastinating on work,
That's correct.
and then every time we do this podcast, we are still procrastinating. Also, Thomas, you want to move?
Oh,
back a little
excuse
bit?
me.
There we
Excuse
go.
me.
There we go.
No, sure. But that's what we're doing, We're just procrastinators. We
Yeah.
love procrastination.
Exactly. So, naturally, I also procrastinated on making all the accounts. So YouTube was all like, you have to wait 24 hours before you can live stream. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing the pilot offline. Wink.
Did you say wink out loud as well?
I did say wink out loud.
Okay.
You did not
okay.
just hear that
All
metaphorically.
right. Do you do more of your own sound effects?
Wink.
Can you do my sound effects? So if I...
Wink.
Okay, thanks. That's great.
So original.
Oh yeah. So we have Chris here. Hi. That's me.
The way of
Would you
introducing
like to
yourself.
introduce yourself?
Do you
better
want me
than
to
saying your
introduce
name?
you, or?
Sure, you can introduce me.
All right, sorry. Sitting next to me is Christian. Chris, also known as Christian. Chris is a four-time Olympic medal winning. I guess you're an athlete,
See, now you're forcing it. Don't force comedy.
So this is Chris. Chris is a little gets a little excited about things and then says, "Hey, let's make a podcast," and then he does it. And I admired that in Chris. I think that's a great trait of Chris. I think we could all use a little bit more of that.
A little sprinkle of Chris.
A little sprinkle, a little tad of Chris.
Some Powerpuff Girls. A sprinkle of Chris.
Sugar.
Oh, whoops.
Exactly.
Now he's Asian.
So would you like to introduce me, Chris?
Yeah, sure. This is Thomas. So I met Thomas in economics class. He's quite the specimen.
Oh, wow.
He's a second year here at AYUC.
Oh, you make me blush.
And so we're our main hosts, I guess. Unless
so.
Tatiana obliges or
Right, just trying to want to make a sound. Or
Hey,
I
I'm
mean,
Tatiana.
yeah. So
I'm just like a background assistant.
not
doing
assistant.
the work,
You're a
but-
full member of the crew.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we're not
I mean,
holding
I was
you.
part of
She
the
even has a fancy
procrastination
title.
team when we first started off the podcast, and yeah.
She's our LGM. She has a title. She's a laughing and giggling machine.
That's true. That's a nice title. When am I gonna get a title?
You're not worthy of a title, Thomas.
Hey, who decided that? What's your title?
The council in our legal department did.
Sure. I'm gonna go to HR then.
Go to HR.
Yeah.
Hello,
all the-
welcome to HR. I'm Chris. Nice to meet
Oh
you.
God, I forgot. You're all the departments. Okay. We need to work on that. We seriously need to work on this business model, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Anyhow, so last week we settled on making a name for the podcast, and we all gave each other a homework assignment to actually start thinking of a name for this podcast.
Can you hear the laptop?
Yeah, sure, go for it. The laptop sounds at our best. It encapsulates that we're
Sounds
actually on
professional.
second floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gives it that in class, or at least in study area feeling. You know,
That's true.
people busy working. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you two are procrastinating, you can just press that subscribe button down there and tune in every time you're procrastinating as well with us. We're going to be live streaming from next week onwards.
And then you can procrastinate together with us. So you do that. That's great.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want to address something because I feel as though it's been a bit neglected in our conversation. So if you will, just give me a minute here. So we've in our conversations, both on and off the podcast, we've been talking about age, I guess, and like how you felt really old, at least in comparison to us, and you're not that old.
I'm not that old.
Like,
yeah.
But I was wondering though, what generation are you? Are you Gen Z or are you millennial? Or?
I consider myself a millennial.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
So I was born in '98.
So you're not pretentious.
I don't think so. But I mean, yeah, sometimes you go through that like early life crises where you think, oh my god, I'm so old.
Am I a 90s kid?
I'm a 2000s kid because I was born in the 90s, but I grew up in the 2000s. I think people, when they act a little pretentious, they say, born in the 90s, I grew up in the 90s. It doesn't make sense. So for certain cases. Like if you're born in 99, you grew up in the 2000s. You didn't grow up in the 90s.
So that's no longer a 90s kid, according to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
all
what I
right.
think.
No, sure. I was just wondering that.
You do you, boo. I
Okay.
don't mind.
You do you.
I like that. That's good. Chris, are you a millennial?
Well, I think I'm Asian.
Jesus Christ, Chris, already.
No. I'd say I'm a millennial as well.
Okay.
Just, but at least I still know what a floppy disk is.
Oh
And I've
yeah,
used them.
that's the saving icon, right? On Word.
No,
that's a floppy
no,
disk,
it's
right?
not. No,
Oh man,
it was an actual storage device,
I
like
feel so
likewise
young.
of the USB.
Like the USB,
Yeah.
but like you put it in a computer, then I
Yeah,
guess.
it's like a CD basically. It's a tray you put it into, and you would sometimes need more than one floppy disk to actually store something. So you would have like a tiny brick of floppy disks just to store it up.
a brick of floppy disks.
Yeah,
Man,
and you would load them one by one.
you are really old.
I'm not that old.
yeah, you are. That's quite.
I was just in contact with technology from a very young age.
I was born at a very young age. That's what that sounds like right now. I was in touch with technology from a very young age. The last thing I remember, or the oldest thing I remember, is VHS. I had VHS still.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
did. Me free.
I remember using a pencil to like
Nice.
roll it back.
Excuse
Before-
me.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, before realizing that the back button on a VHS player was a thing.
Right, exactly. I was just gonna mention that. You
Yes,
can
I
also
would-
just.
Yeah, but I would take it out.
I do miss
just-
like pressing on a television and seeing, press pause,
Oh, that's
rewind,
right.
go forward.
Because like here's the thing, right?
And
'Cause-
when the little flap where it opens
Oh,
so the
that's-
VHS comes
oh,
out,
that was
and then
the
you insert
best.
the VHS back in.
Oh man.
So satisfying.
Oh.
Yes.
So of course, for listeners at home, you'd be like, "Wait, you only use a pencil for cassettes?" Yeah, but here's the thing: you are assuming that it's a small pencil. No,
Oh
we
my
had a
God,
big boy
cassettes
pencil.
are even older
for-
than VHS, aren't they?
Are they? I still use cassettes.
Is
I
that
had cassettes. I remember my grandparents have this radio, and it was a modern radio, but they also had like on the lid, you open it and they have a cassette option.
Oh,
And I remember like
right,
when I was
the-
really young, and they put the cassettes in and they played like children's songs, but played bedtime stories.
That's actually pretty cute.
It was
man.
really cute.
That is
yeah.
cute.
So for the listeners at home, where are you actually from, Tatiana?
I'm from London.
From London.
This small little hamlet.
Yeah.
so where in London?
We're in London. I moved about a little bit in the city, but mainly in southwest London. And then I moved to the south. My mum did when I went to AUC, when I started AUC. I was born in Hammersmith, and I lived in Chiswick for a little bit, and then moved back to Hammersmith. And then I lived for like a decade in Fulham. This is all for like any English speaker. Otherwise, you could just Google it. And then after a decade in Fulham, I moved to Carshalton, which is like 40 minutes away from Wimbledon. And then I started AUC, and my mum moved to Whiteley, which is like Zone 6. It's like the last
Zone
part
6.
of London before you leave the city.
Sounds like a containment zone to keep all Londoners in.
Exactly.
Shit, she's breached Zone 6.
Ooh,
Hey, guys.
yeah,
Breach
wait
Zone 6.
till
No.
no deal Brexit happens. That's going to be like a...
About the storm that's happening in 3 days, isn't it? September 20th.
Oh, that's right, the Area 51 raid.
Yeah, the area.
That is in 3 days. Oh my god.
Yes,
Guys, I
indeed.
don't even have my tickets yet.
We need to pack.
We do.
stock up
Would-
on
on canned food, beans and tomato sauce. You know.
Go
Only
do
the
heavy
essential.
little shopping there.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, the
so
popcorn, sit on the
that's
sidelines.
essential.
Oh, you one of those then, eh? You are a coward. You're
Not
not
a
gonna be
coward.
Naruto running.
No.
Come on, dude.
You see,
At least come and film me. You know, you don't have to.
You're actually running.
I am. Oh, you bet your bottom dollar I am.
Actually, just going back on the subject of where we're from. Chris, where are you from?
Well, according to my parents, I'm from a bridge in Amsterdam.
Could you elaborate on that, Chris?
They found me in a box
Man.
that said "Made in China."
So like the,
Oh, Chris. See, I'm happy that you made that joke because I can't.
yeah, exactly.
No, so I'm actually from West Amsterdam, and I was born there, raised till around 5. But at some point, I guess the neighborhood got quite hostile. Car was being painted on, and windows were broken.
Oh.
License plate were stolen, specifically from our car.
Oh,
So
fuck.
there was a clear message of get the fuck out of here.
Okay. Shit.
And so we moved to Almere, which is dead, but it's Almere.
I mean, Almere is Almere.
I heard
There's
Famke
no-
Louise is from Almere. So
Yeah, that
That explains a lot.
exactly. That's topical. That's really typical Almere.
Yeah.
Famke Louise.
So it certainly is a cultural hub. Yeah.
What a nice non-polemic way of saying
Yeah.
that. That's
But
great.
but so we moved to Almere, and then we moved back to Amsterdam.
Okay.
And actually not back. I just moved back to Amsterdam. I'm here now and enjoying my time. Really.
that's good.
Yeah.
And now you, Tom.
Oh god, it's my turn now. So I'm Dutch as well. I'm from Utrecht, and you can pronounce the U really well. So
Utrecht.
Ooh, that was really good. That was really close. That was really good. I'm from a large suburban part of Utrecht called Leidse Rijn, with a bunch of just the same houses over and over again. And there's a bunch of young people there, and a bunch of creators, and people who love doing art, and it's bustling with history as well, because there's a bunch of Roman, archaeological digs there as well. So that really excites children to learn. So a bunch of young people.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So that's partly why I I seeked some even more cultural enrichment than why I got to such a culturally rich place like
You see, I've never
AUC.
gone to Utrecht.
You've
like-
never been?
Well, I've been to
Me
Utrecht
too,
probably
I've
at
never
some point, but
been.
I've never actually gone to just chill around and see Utrecht.
You're missing out, man. You're
I've
in for a
been
treat.
to Haarlem, Maastricht, and Leiden, but not. They're like the biggest cities I've been to. I remember coming here and I thought, Leiden's a city?
Mm.
There's only like, what, 20,000 people living there?
Wow. Okay.
Hereby,
Okay,
on
here
the
comes the
Tatiana's
fancy
scale.
girl.
Yeah.
On the Tatiana scale, Leiden hereby is now a village.
Right. If London was a little town, a little village, then surely Amsterdam is
I
nothing.
might be from that little village, but I guess my standards for cities
Ah.
are like, quite
Fancy boy.
girl.
Okay,
yeah.
sure. Never been to Rotterdam?
No, I really want to go.
Mm.
If anybody wants to see Slow Tie on the first Monday of the October break, €19 for a ticket, please PM me, because I really want to go.
Man.
You can find Tatiana on Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
Should we get your Instagram handle?
At Tatiana Miranda, 1998.
There we go.
Wow.
If you want, you can take Tatiana on a date you're paying, and it'll be awesome. Yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely. €19, and Slow Tie is a really good artist.
that's how much you need to put down to buy some time with Tatiana.
She's a fancy hoe. She ain't doing it for nothing.
God. Okay, did we take it a step too far? See, we can't
perhaps.
publish
This
this on
is
this.
what a podcast is for. We
Yeah, I
have
guess so.
Gotta,
You can
we
just-
made the trigger warning
Yeah.
already.
You can
It's
run
like-
wild in this
This is like an
podcast.
R-rated channel, right?
It's an R-rated. So actually, well, I have a personal goal with this podcast. I don't know about you, but
Tell me,
I've got no
enlighten me, Chris.
expectations.
one thing I want to achieve with this podcast is that I personally feel that in AUC, we can no longer express our opinions freely because
Mhm.
it's so left liberal, I'd say. Maybe I'm wrong in the way I say things, but I feel like whenever you express something, there's always someone who will be offended, and I feel
Sure.
like there's no engaging conversation anymore.
I feel you. I feel. No, I'm
mean-
okay.
Or do you see it differently? Because
No,
that's
no,
what it's me.
Usually, I just try and shut up. Like the first few weeks, I did voice my opinion, but now I've just learned to, take it all in, count to 10, just let it slide. And
Yeah, and you feel me? Like that's a thing that everyone goes to when they come here at AUC. They notice, oh, if I express my opinion, I'm gonna get shit.
exactly, you're gonna
Yes.
get shat on by 4 different people.
For different specific people.
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, I agree that we need to have more of like a discussion and like accepting and just even tolerating other people's opinions,
Mhm,
whether it's
mhm.
something like small and not that significant
Yeah.
to something broader that impacts a greater number of people. I mean, it depends what you identify. Like when it comes to politics, which is already you're entering some really shallow waters
Mhm.
here. This is a predominantly left-wing like institute, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
But if people don't agree with, certain principles, I think it's important to have some respect for other people regardless, as long as those opinions do not offend others. Like, offend, like, in terms of being racist, discriminatory. Education is power.
I
Okay,
agree.
but then in that case, you could argue who decides that something is racist or that something is misogynist. When is something going
Sometimes
too
it's
far?
common sense when you decide if something is racist or not. It depends how explicit the language used is.
Sure.
I
sure.
do
Really
must
deep.
agree.
I'm not expecting to talk about this in a podcast.
No, but actually, it's just because like when Thomas said who decides, I feel like we've just put the buffer of what is racism and what is not all the way up so that we encapsulate everything. But by doing so, we still miss out on a lot of topics or just conversation points that need to be addressed,
Right.
but aren't addressed because of people getting triggered or because of the sensitivity of it. And I feel like, removing that sensitivity in a bit allows us to speak about these things more freely.
So even though it's better to, you think lowering this sensitivity would really do it?
Yeah, I'd say so. But then again, I do disagree with people who are just blatantly, offensive or do it with ill intent to other people. I think that shouldn't be a thing. Of course, this podcast will always be wholesome, but I feel like people should just be open for each other's insight and take on each other's
I think it's
feedback.
definitely if you're going to be like, if you're going to embrace the fact of being in like such a diverse environment, opinions also count too. So of course you've got to respect others of their
Exactly.
opinion, as long as there is like a civilized conversation happening. But when it comes to like sensitive issues, it really depends, because it depends on somebody's like socioeconomic status and upbringing. I mean, it's really easy for somebody to target or like blame somebody for acting sensitive. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like everyone can react in a bad way to a comment that might seem harmless at first, but it might really touch the other person in a way that doesn't make them feel comfortable. And
Right, but that reaction is partly dependent on what is normal for you. And that's the whole thing, is that there's no real normal.
it's such a broad and
It's
complex
this broad and
issue.
complex
It's hard to
issue.
really.
We're not pretending to have the
dial it
answer,
down.
by the way.
No.
This is
No,
But
this is
indeed
just
what
like
you
a
said, Tat,
discussion.
I think indeed if someone expresses something and someone does take offense with it, they should indeed react to it and engage in conversation.
No one should act dictatorial in a conversation. Like,
Exactly.
my opinion is right, regardless.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes you can have that tendency. Like, this movie is a great movie, regardless of what you think it is. You know?
Do you think you're going to get very heated discussions about...
I mean, I'm a massive...
Okay.
Let's just put our hands up. I'm a massive movie nerd and arts nerd, and I like things. If somebody doesn't like this particular film or this particular book, yeah, I might be a little bit touched. Like, oh, why? I might not agree with their opinion, but I mean, that's part of engaging in a conversation. I
Right.
feel like that's
Because
just-
otherwise you'd be talking to a
it's
robot.
it's natural, exactly.
And that's exactly
What
what
do
I
you
mean, because
expect?
I find it difficult to express what I mean sometimes, but this is exactly what I mean. Because I just want that free conversation to still be a thing. Because what Thomas said, where he feels like, okay, now I just shut up about my opinions.
Exactly.
I don't engage in conversation anymore with the fear that I am offending someone. Of course, you do it with good intent of, oh, I don't want to offend anybody. But at the same time, you don't have the freedom to express yourself and then get feedback on what it is exactly that is offending people.
But it's also essential to think twice before you say anything,
Definitely,
owing to
yeah.
information you have at hand.
Exactly.
Because you might say some things that are factually inaccurate, and it's important to.
And you should be pointed out on that.
You should bring up some legitimate info.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your opinion just lacks. I mean,
And
it
this is why
depends on the
logic.
topic. It
This is
really
why logic
depends.
is an important course.
Oh, don't get me
But
started
you also
on
don't want to
logic.
be
Oh.
walking around just with this huge packet, these files
No,
full of, oh, this is
definitely.
my data, which I refer to, you can read it.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, it's just so complex. And we say one thing, and what we say in this podcast could easily be contradicted. If maybe, I don't even know. I'm
If you
going
do
off
wish
on
to
a
come on the
tangent.
show, you can always come over on Tuesdays, 11 o'clock, on the second floor of the AB. If you would like to engage with us in any conversation, or even after the show, just come to us personally, and we'd like to talk with you if you'd want to. But yeah, so that was our first controversial topic. I feel like
Man, look at how we handled
this
that.
podcast has actual substance.
We handled it like
Is this
real
going
adults.
live or is it just a pilot?
This is a pilot.
This is the pilot. We can
Because we can improve on like,
cut
the
out.
structure and
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
right? Because I feel like it'd be nice for the actual podcast to have a structure.
Oh,
so
that's
intro,
so tidy.
then one topic, maybe Q&A,
A little intermezzo, you know, little
Yeah.
tune happening there. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Exactly,
We can do that.
exactly.
We can do
Because
that.
we entered in really deep territory. To be honest.
Dive
I
in
still think
deep.
these headphones are like real, like they're actually working, not just for aesthetics.
But that's why.
That's such
this is
a
pilot.
grown-up thing, though, for you to say. It's such a, you know. Can I, by the way, you know, I really just moving on to something which is not at all this serious. Memes, basically. So do you guys know boomer memes?
Boomer memes.
Boomer memes. Do you know the ones? No, really? Oh man.
I know boomer memes.
You-
It's the one was like back in my day.
Exactly, and then it's like
It's
wife bad and technology bad and smartphone bad. That type of meme.
I mean,
you know.
you know that meme of like, so it's like Trump and with meeting with Kim Jong Un, and then just standing there, and then Kim Jong Un is like, oh yeah, no, I struggle with, you know, student loans and high student study prices, stress and burnouts and such, another such and stress, and then Trump goes, back in my day, as a
Exactly.
boomer, we had to
Exactly,
work
dude.
for our money.
Wait, let me find the format.
Oh god.
No, but so
We're gonna talk about boomer
my
memes.
favorite thing to do. Oh, I'm getting a lot of different memes now. Getting a lot of different face edits with Donald Trump's face on Kim Jong Un and vice versa. No, what I was. Oh, this one. This is the meme. This type of meme.
The smart
oh, it's a good meme.
teacher. Okay, so am I Trump or are you Trump? No, you're
No.
Trump. I'm Jong-un.
I'm Trump. Okay, so the smart kid's just listening to the teacher, and the teacher says,
Teacher, there are three. Oh no, the student.
"Dude, you
what-
don't say
what?
teacher." Okay.
Fuck.
Reading out memes is not a great idea. Anyway, what I was heading for is that I love using boomer as like an insult, you know. So whenever someone says something I don't agree with, I'll just go, "Shut up, boomer," you know, and it just shuts them up because they don't know how to react. And I think it's topical because the two of you are older than me. I'm the youngest here, so I can just whenever I disagree with you, just say, "Shut up, boomer."
But it's such
How
a.
old are you?
You don't ask that. You're not supposed to ask that. Wait, but you are a millennial, right?
But it's
I'm
such,
probably
it's
a Gen
such
Z.
an obscure insult. It's
It
like,
is.
Shut up,
It
boomer.
is. It is. But the great thing is because I'm Gen Z, so I'm a Zoomer. So, you know, so you guys can just call me a Zoomer whenever, and I'll call you guys Boomers. How'd you like that?
I see, I see.
And using generations is just
This is so
it's kind of weird.
Does anybody know how to use Evernote?
On a related note,
If anyone knows how to use Evernote, please help Tatiana out.
email us.
Help a girl.
Maybe on the
Exactly.
second floor in the AB. I'm in the Darwin area right at the back. I'm struggling
Ah.
to use Evernote.
That reminds me, we were talking about Charles Darwin last time.
Oh, that is right.
How?
That's true.
What
Yeah.
was about Charles Darwin?
Well, it's because I like to sit on like the ledge of the second floor, where if someone were to push me, I'd clearly break my neck.
Toilet.
And then they always go, "Oh, this is so dangerous. Why do you do it?" But it's such a soothing place because you can see the whole university. It's like you're in a tree house. And then my standard
Oh,
reply
sure.
to that, like your standard reply is "Shut up, boomer." Mine is like, "Well, Darwin senpai, take me."
Boy, that adds a new level to take me, man.
Take on me.
Man, whatever happened to Aha?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the artist, right? From Take on Me. Uh huh.
Okay, stop it. Shut up, Zoomer.
Shut up, boomer. See, it's perfect. It's perfect.
But I think we should end the podcast on a high note. So
Oh, that's right. We should finish with a high note. Tatiana is off to take to the loo. She is.
she's to the lube, and we're supposed to go to work, like you are as well. Again,
Oh,
our
right.
concept is that we're procrastinating on work, right, and that we actually have to work.
Procrastination. It's my favorite nation. I'd be a citizen there if I could.
You see, I would say please kill yourself, but I feel like that's more offensive than I can say on air.
Well, I'm glad you're that considerate, Chris. That's nice of you.
Anyhow, thank you for tuning in, and we'll
Oh,
see you
yeah.
back next week Tuesday, live from YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.
See you there.
Bye. Is this the outro?
Oh no. The outro should be something nice and topical. I'm not sure.
Okay.